Good morning, writers. Let's get started with our writing learning intentions. Today's date is 1/19, and today as a writer I am working on writing a thesis statement. Over the past several days, writers, you have been working hard to collect ideas about the short stories that you've chosen to study. You should now have lots and lots of ideas about things like the characters in your story, or themes, or big ideas, or what the author's message is. So today we'll be taking a look back at all of this important work we've been doing and work really hard to name one crystal clear idea that we want to share with our reader, or one central idea for the essay we will be writing. So today I want to teach you that when you're writing a literary essay, just as when you are writing a personal or persuasive essay, you need to find your thesis by first rereading all of your related entries and thinking, what is the big idea I really want to say? Sometimes it helps to gather a bunch of possible theses about a text and then decide on one. As a class, we've been studying the book Fox together, so it makes sense that we try this first on that text, and then you'll go off and do this on your own short text that you've been studying. Let's take a look back at some of the entries I have made about my ideas about Fox. And as we do this, let's think, what is the main thing we really want to say? Alright, let's take a look here at some of my notes. These are notes that I kind of wrote up after some of the discussions we have had as a class so far. So it says, at the beginning of the story, Magpie is hurt and Dog comes to her rescue. He carries Magpie gently in his mouth. This shows he is trying to help her, not hurt her. I think I'm going to underline that. That seems like an important thought to me. Dog carries Magpie to his cave and takes care of her burnt wing. Dog really wants to help Magpie. I think I'm going to underline that too. He helps her wing get better, and then he tries to help her spirits get better. Magpie doesn't want Dog's help, but Dog keeps trying. This shows that he doesn't give up easily. Oh, yeah, I like that thought too. I'm going to underline that. He tries to cheer Magpie up by telling her that he is blind and life is still good. Magpie can only focus on the fact that she will no longer fly. For some reason, she won't let Dog help her. I'm going to underline that too. She just won't let Dog help her at first. So notice, as I looked back at my writing, I was really looking for ideas, not for facts from the book. These things that I underlined really showed my thinking. This shows he was trying to help her, not hurt her. I was thinking Dog really wants to help Magpie. He doesn't give up. And Magpie won't let Dog help her. The other things in that writing was more of the details from the story. Those are things that everybody already knows. In order to write a thesis, we need to come up with some of our own ideas. Thinking about what we just went over, I want you and your partner to turn and talk about some possible thesis statements that we might be able to use for the book Fox. Go ahead and do that now. So here are some ideas that I had that could be used as possible thesis statements. Dog wants to save Magpie. Dog tries to help Magpie in different ways. Or Magpie doesn't appreciate Dog's friendship. My next step now is, after I've drafted several possible theses, I want to take a look at them and see, will any of these work for me? So first I have to reread each one and ask, does this relate to more than one part of the text? Because if it does not, then it does not make a really great thesis. Let's test this first one here. Dog wants to save Magpie. If we think of examples to support this, do they come from the whole story, or is it just from one or two parts? Turn and talk to your partner now about what you think. So I think that most of us have come to the idea that this is mostly from the first part of the story, where we see Dog carrying Magpie in his mouth. But I think this can really relate to another thought we did have with him wanting to save Magpie. He's really caring towards Magpie, or he is a caring kind of dog. I think we could use that thought. So maybe let's go ahead and revise this thesis. Instead of saying Dog wants to save Magpie, we could say Dog is a good friend to Magpie. That one might be able to span across the whole story. So let's now take a look back at our list of things that we know about how to write a literary essay. I did add a couple of new things down here. So right here, we need to find a big idea that is really important to you and then write a thesis. And we need to test it out by asking these questions. Does this opinion relate to more than one part of the text? And is there enough evidence to support it? So here again, I have my revised thesis here. Dog is a good friend to Magpie. I think I could change this even more to be just a little more general and just say Dog is a good friend. Because we know not only is he a good friend to Magpie, we have another character that comes in, and he could also show that he's a good friend to Fox. So writers, as we all know from our last essay unit, in order to write a solid thesis, we need our evidence to support it, or our reasons. So here is our reminder. We write our thesis like this. Thesis statement, so Dog is a good friend because reason 1, reason 2, and most of all, because reason 3. So I think if we use that Dog is a good friend, one reason we could say is because he is caring. I definitely think there are lots of examples throughout the text to show that he's caring. But now I need to think of another reason why Dog is a good friend. So I'm going to take a look back quick at some of my notes to come up with another reason why Dog is a good friend. So here again it says at the beginning, Magpie is hurt and Dog comes to her rescue. He carries her gently in his mouth. This shows he is trying to help her, not hurt her. Dog carries Magpie to his cave and takes care of her burnt wing. Dog really wants to help Magpie. He helps her wing get better, and then he tries to help her spirits get better. Magpie doesn't want Dog's help, but Dog keeps trying. This shows that he doesn't give up easily. He tries to cheer Magpie up by telling her that he is blind and life is still good. Magpie can only focus on the fact that she will no longer fly. For some reason, she won't let Dog help her. I think something that really stands out to me here is that Dog is a good friend because he doesn't give up. So he does all these things to keep trying. I'm going to go ahead and write that down. He doesn't give up on his friend. So writers, when we're looking to develop a strong thesis, there are two things we can do. First, we can look back at our notebook entries and begin to list a few possible thesis ideas. Then, we test our thesis by checking to see if it relates to more than one part of the text, and by asking, how will I support this? Let's try this with your stories now. Take a moment and look through the writing you've done over the past few days. Just as we did a moment ago, star or underline or circle places where you see ideas that may possibly grow into a thesis for you later on. Remember, you're looking to underline or circle spots that are your ideas, not just things that are repeated back from the text. Make sure you're working quietly on your own right now to look back through your thinking. Right now, if you can, decide on one idea that really stands out to you and feels important, and jot that down on the next blank page in your binder. Turn and talk with your partner and test this thesis by talking about ways that you could support it and making sure that evidence would come from the entire story, not just the beginning, middle, or end. Teachers, feel free to share a couple ideas now. So to end today's mini lesson, I just want to teach you that today and whenever you write a thesis for a literary essay, make sure to look back over the ideas that you've collected and select one, and then remember that writers test out possible thesis ideas just like we did today. Make it a great day.